About 85% of people believe they are self aware, when in actuality, only 10 to 15% are. Good morning. Welcome to Soul Work. Soul meets strategy and decisions meet rhythm. I'm your host, AJ White, guiding you through the twists and turns of life with a touch of old school wisdom and a dash of soulful insight. Now let's dive in to the last two episodes of our series of Clarity Conversations. We have a couple more topics I just kind of want to discuss before we start a new month, start a new journey with a new series, which will be released here pretty soon. Hope you guys are enjoying this series so far as much as I am. Hope you guys are checking us out on YouTube, on Instagram, on any social media platforms such as Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcast, um, iHeartRadio, you name it. Soul Work is out there. Hopefully, some of these messages are really bringing some light back into your life. And I hope some of the messages are really connecting with some of the thoughts that you are having on a day-to-day basis. So today, just wanted to go into the little topic of self-reflection. Let's start off with a little fact for you guys. About 85% of people believe they are self-aware, when in actuality, only 10 to 15% are. And I really, truly believe that. I think it takes a lot of time for people to truly understand themselves, because we're all in different paths. We're all beginning different journeys, different stories. We all have different testimonies. Coming from the background of being Black in general, there's a lot of things that you have to grow up quicker to, realizing, how you act, how you portray yourself. Something that I have discussed before in classes of mine or with family is something that I believe I'm pretty good at, but I know there are, a lot of other people that are good at it, is the aspect of, code switching. Uh, I believe it's a valuable skill that no matter who you're around or the group of people that you're associating yourself with, sometimes you change up, the style or tone of your voice. Not saying that you are not, truly authentic with the things that you're doing, because everything that you're still saying is true and you still truly believe. But, coming from a stature of mine, I'm not a very small individual sometimes, so people can think I am, very, can be intimidating to some people. So I have to really watch how my volume is when I'm talking. Sometimes I can get loud. It runs in the family, but that's okay. I have no problem with, quieting my tone down just a little bit so people can understand me better, hear me better, and I don't come off as, aggressive or being so serious. Just trying to survey my surroundings and learn about everything that's going on around me so I can choose the best course of action when I'm around these people. It goes back to the topic that me and Cannon had of decision making. These are some of the decisions that I have to make in order to, make it to the next level or next step for myself. I'm not saying it's always necessary to code switch and whatnot, but it's very helpful, especially for, you know people of color in a sense, because there's always a feeling of wanting to fit in. You want to fit into those groups. You want to find those people that you can, try to relate to. But that all necessarily comes from truly understanding yourself and really being authentic. If you're talking about finding groups of friends or lifelong friends or a partner. You want real self. You wouldn't have to code switch with these people because these people will understand and relate and want to talk to you just based off of who you are. But if you're talking about going into the business realm, the business realm is cruel, man. Business realm is evil. Like if you go into, the topics of Instagram and TikTok, people will cook you on there if if you don't fit this certain criteria. So there are some times when you go to these meetings or you go to these venues and events, there are certain people that you notice that are not always the same as they are online. Um, some people with good intention, some people with not good intention. And sometimes it can be hard to, really understand why they're doing it or their true meaning behind it. And you'll never know. But, the truth will always pretty much reveal itself in a sense. But I want to define what self reflection really is. So, self reflection, from what I've looked up, and I'll break it down into an understanding as well. But first, I want you guys to tell me what self reflection means to you in the comments. What is all entailed in self reflection? What things do you think you really need to understand and evaluate in your life to truly understand self reflection? Let me give a definition that the internet gives out first, and then I'll maybe give out my ideas, and hopefully we can all discuss this together later on, maybe on another potential episode. But self reflection is the process of purposely considering one's thoughts, feelings, experiences, and actions in order to gain insight, understanding, and self awareness. It involves taking a step back from the external world and turning inward to examine oneself critically and honestly. True self reflection goes beyond surface level observations. It delves into the deeper layers of one's beliefs, values, motivations, and identity. And for my, understanding of self reflection definitely ties back to the taking a step back from the external world and turning inward to examine oneself. I know this is a topic of discussion with social media all the time because there's always a persona that's coming out. There's always something that you want to compare yourself to online. Oh, this person has a really nice car. Oh, this person has, this amazing personality and whatnot. But in reality, we only see what's behind the camera. We only see what's being acted upon. But if you were to have a real life one v one conversation, things may be much different. I don't know if you've ever experienced, meeting a celebrity or meeting someone famous on TikTok or any of these social media platforms in real life and had a conversation with them. Sometimes it can go really well and sometimes it really doesn't. But they're like, man, online, this person can really talk and understand, and it's very clear and we can understand and see all that. So I want to replicate that. This is me. I can understand that. I relate. But in reality, in your life, some of your things are really not relating to this person, and that's okay. We're all different. We all go through different paths and different journeys, and that's cool. Like there's nothing wrong with that at all. Once you are able to, let's say if you're going into the social media space, like let's say, for example, going into podcast, if you understand, your humor, what things you like to do, what things you like to actually talk about, how well you are with, asking questions, um, be true to it, act exactly how you would if this was, a real life conversation. I don't think anything should be different just because you're behind the camera. Um, you just shouldn't act any otherwise just to, receive positive feedback from other people. Sometimes if you are a little aggressive, be aggressive if this is how you speak, but it's true to how you speak. So there are some people out there who also have an aggressive mannerism that can be able to relate to some of maybe the struggles that you go through because of being aggressive. Some people don't want to listen to you because you sound too loud or whatnot, but you're being true to you. And also understanding how you are emotionally. Do people piss you off really quickly?
Do people have a tendency to sway you over really quickly? Learning how to understand those things, because if you get into the realm of, business, if you're easily swayed, there are easy contracts that people can pull over you. There are also lots of money schemes that people can pull over you. There's a lot of business deals that can just go wrong because you're, in a sense, gullible. And there's nothing wrong with being that way. It's just you have to start to learn to understand those sides of you, so that later on down the road you don't have to go past and go through these issues, again. You don't have to do these things once again. So I have a couple questions that I kind of want to discuss, and I want to hear your input back. I want to hear how you guys, maybe if you've been through these type of experiences before, maybe you've been through these types of processes before. But one, for the first question, it's just, can you share a personal experience where self reflection has played a significant role in your growth or understanding of your identity as a person of color? For me, um, I think mine all started because of football. Um, Football was a big part of my life, and athletics was always a huge part of my life. So that was, first part of, my identity. That's the only thing I truly identified with. And growing up, people will always think, oh, you are only, this good of an athlete because you're black. You have, extra qualities or whatever that fits the stereotype. But it's like, nah, I put in my effort, I put in my work to get to where I am. There are some times where I slacked off. I didn't go to training. I didn't go to the proper, trainers that I needed to get better at, which in my past is just reflecting like I didn't do that. But I think, all glory to God from the path that my life is going. I'm glad my life didn't go into that route. Uh, and I think me, being in the football realm and then getting out of the football realm, getting back into it and then back out again, I'm learning and understanding, that wasn't my calling. That wasn't a route for me. Athletics was just the start. Athletics was just the start to understand how to learn how to speak to people, how to lead a team, how to be around and go through teamwork, but also learn the rigorous structure of, practice, dedication, learning how to time manage with, I got practices, I got workouts, I got meetings, and then I also got to make sure I deal with school, and then I have a personal life and I have my private life. There's a lot of things I had to learn to work together. So when I got out of this realm, um, I was learning, football made a pivotal role for me. Learning how to control my emotions. If you're too angry out there on the field, you would miss certain plays, you would miss little things because you're just so overwhelmed. You're so mad about everything, about the last play that goes on, which ties along or can tie along with life. If you were just boiling over and over and over again, you're never going to make a quality action, in a sense. If you're always upset and always, sad or always pissed off about stuff, you will never think about things properly. And I know that's something for me. I'm very quick tempered. If you say something wrong or you say something really quickly, just off the tongue, and it was, may not have been offensive, but I took it offensive, or you're talking about family, or you're talking about something very personal of mine, or you're just running your mouth for no reason. I have a tendency to get mad really quickly, but I know people can use that as advantage against me, to rile me up, and I had to learn to understand that. I don't know if people. I know some of my close friends know it, but yeah, I can get upset very fast. Uh, but I've learned over the years of how to control it, and I talked about it a couple episodes ago, which some people commented on. Is the process of not, you don't have to say everything like towards your goals or towards your dreams. Sometimes it's best to stay quiet, and that's something that I've tried to work on a lot. I'm a yapper, man. Some people may not think so. If I don't know you, I won't talk as much because I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. But on a day to day, if you truly know me and you get to know me, man, I can talk, and sometimes that that could bite me, and so I'm trying to learn and build back and learn how to stay quiet and just be more observant um, with the people that are around me and be more observant of the people that are listening to me, because you never know who's back there and is waiting to hear something slip from your mouth, but there's always that one person that's waiting to hear some guidance from you, and I want to be that vessel that I can give some guidance to at least one person. I feel like that is a mission of mine. I try to do every day. I want to be able to connect and understand a side or a point of view of somebody else. I'd say another experience that helped with my personal growth, it's just being around other Black people. And I grew up, for me, a lot of people that I grew up with were of not my color. um, Predominantly white high school, predominantly white college, predominantly white elementary school, middle school. So there weren't a lot of people that were like me. So I think that's where a part of me really understood the aspect of code switching. I was very good with that because I was always around people different than me. But now getting into grad school and I'm around, different ethnicities of people, Nigerians, Ghanaians, people from Bangladesh, Iran. Like I'm around such a diverse group that I'm able to understand, different cultures, different beliefs, and truly, tap into other other Black people and see how we interact with one another. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's a little overwhelming, sometimes it's not, but it's a learning process for me. Um, and, and I'm learning to embrace that and seeing how we all act with one another. It's very interesting, the dynamics between us and the dynamics between us and people of different ethnicities. And it's very interesting. It's a very interesting topic that we can discuss in, another episode. But I think that's very interesting. And I hope you guys can share with me, some personal experiences that you've had that maybe I can speak on, maybe that I can learn to understand, or we can have a conversation about, and I can hear your point of view and see how things were for you when you were growing up. One thing, I have one more question of, in what ways can self-reflection empower individuals to challenge internalized depression and advocate for social change within their community? I think this question is very brutal in a sense, but it's real. Um, I think the more that you learn to understand yourself, understand your qualities, understand what things that you actually can give out to the world, once you find out those true qualities around that, you can help so many people. In a sense, this is what I'm doing now. I'm trying to create a community of people who are, wanting to better themselves, wanting to bring some better, not better, but bring more joy, bring more positivity, bring more growth back into your life that you can build and pass down to the people who are coming up after us. There are so much, there's so much going on now that on social media now there are a lot of negative things going on. There's, people praise the bad. That's why people like gossip. That's why people like the paparazzi and people making stories that aren't true, because it's so interesting. It's so quick to catch your eye, but all the good and all the little nice stories, they don't really last for very long. So how can we be able to grow that? How can we be able to grow a community where things are not always, bad? We can talk about bad experiences, but then understand what could come from those experiences. What things have we learned from these bad experiences? If you have a network of people that that you can depend on, that you can listen to for their ideas and their advice, and know that it's coming from a pure place of heart, not a place of greed, where they're just trying to say the right words just to make you feel better. But being real and understanding, if you get upset quickly and you have somebody out there who's telling you, hey man, like, just being real, like, none of us said anything so offensive that you should be this upset over. But it's okay that you're upset. You're still learning to understand that you get upset quickly over this. So how can we move forward in order for you to still remain calm in these situations? If somebody starts to come and start talking nonsense in front of you, how are you able to move on and push forward through that? um, Within a community like this, if you're able to start small and you see everyone around you is just trying to grow, trying to be better, you can bring more and more people with you. And then that later on down the road, you've created a path for some people to really evaluate themselves and learn that it's okay to be you. You just have to learn to understand all of your qualities so that you can take a benefit from all of these things. Everyone was here for a purpose. Not everyone's going to have the same personality, but everyone's personality is built for something. We all just need to figure out what was our personality made for. And for me, my personality was kind of made for this. I'm very soft spoken. I'm not somebody who's very loud. Like, I can get very enthusiastic, but I'm pretty soft spoken when I speak. I'm very, I still am very energetic and passionate when I speak. I enjoy the things that I talk about. And I know with my personality, I'm very empathetic. I'm very, very good at listening to other people. So I enjoy having conversations and talking to guest speakers and talking to people out in public, because I never know the story that I'm going to hear and find out. And the more stories that I hear and the more information that I get in from other people allow me to start thinking more about myself, of maybe some of these qualities are in me that I don't know about, or maybe this is something I don't want to, get involved with, but now I know it. Now I see it. And now I can understand this aspect or this topic that you're getting into. And I feel like a lot of people just need to, be quiet a little more nowadays. Let the talkers talk for a little while, start to get their message, start to understand, and then you start speaking out. I'm speaking for the people who are, more introverted than they are extroverted. There's nothing wrong with being quiet, but you're never going to get anything good out of never speaking up, though. Ask your questions, talk to people, hear the stories of other people, because you never know the life and the story that they might bring to you that may touch your heart. So, as we conclude another enriching episode of Soul Work, remember, the decisions you make today shape the soul you become tomorrow. Keep seeking clarity, keep embracing your truth, keep doing the soul work. Until next time, stay rooted, stay soulful, and keep shining. All of our social media will be tagged in our description. Leave some comments, leave some reviews. I'd love to hear the message. I'm AJ White, and I hope you guys have a great evening.